Welcome all to Real Talks One podcast. Today we are joined here to discuss some of the developments that are happening in the US. Mainly, politics is going to be our topic of discussion today. And just recently, I talked about that due to Biden's thought process, Ukraine war could get extended, and it can basically lead us to Third World War because he initially allowed Ukraine to use US given missiles to directly attack in Russia, and basically they went ahead and did that, right? Uh, and I was telling that possibly Biden is doing this to complicate matters for Trump. And as you can tell, we already know from his past, like how Trump basically works out. We have seen him; he's a like a showman. He has been part of that apprentice program that used to come. I think he's been part of Shark Tank as well, if I'm not wrong, maybe once or twice, and a couple of movies as well. So he's pretty blunt, very unpredictable. So everyone knows that once he becomes the president, he's going to like stir the honeypot, etc. But think about this, right? A Democratic Party, Joe Biden, who seems to be kind of like normal person, pretty, he's going senile, and he's doing everything in his right till the last day, like 20th of January is his last day in office. He's doing a lot of things that are basically causing a lot of problems. So most recently, he went ahead and pardoned his son Hunter Biden for all the misdemeanors and felony charges that are being brought against him. So if you think from that perspective, both Trump and Biden are equally guilty of basically supporting their own family members. So it is easily a case of a breach of contract, and you can see that they're helping out their own siblings. So even Trump in his previous presidency had actually pardoned, I think, his maybe possibly his son-in-law, or maybe father of son-in-law, someone like that, initially. And as you can see, Biden has done exactly the same thing. Well, US as a like country, right, is very strict on any kind of perjury, any kind of false representation that you do. But here in the highest office, which is of the POTUS, like the president of America, they are indulging in basically ethics challenges. Not only that, Joe Biden is also like bringing in on more sanctions on Israel, and then he's passing on multiple executive orders because now he no longer has the support of the Senate and the House, now that they have lost elections, right? Officially he's still the president of the US, but in the last days when he should be out in the race, because he was not wanting to go ahead for the second round of elections anyway, he should have just left a legacy of a person who did not stir the honeypot. But boy, like, you would have thought that Trump is the one who is going to create a lot of issues, and he's unpredictable. But Joe Biden is acting exactly in the same way as well. So this kind of brings us to a very important point, that in politics there are no constant enemies and no constant friends, and you can basically not trust a single electoral person. Actually, these guys are not supposed to be our leaders. They have zero ethics. They continue to keep doing U-turns. They do not care about any kind of supporting their own family members or supporting their friends, pardoning them for the gravest mistakes that these people do. I am sure once Trump comes in back, some of these executive orders that Biden has approved right now can be turned back. But some of the other things, like appointing certain judges and things, attorneys, etc., could be very difficult to remove actually. So all these things are causing, first of all, quite a bit of backlash even within the Democratic Party, that Biden is indulging in such kind of activities, especially on his way out. And even for United States as a whole country, right? They're making mockery of the whole situation. So you see, I have been very vocal about India, how politicians are, etc. But USA has to have better standards, and Nothing can be further away from the truth that the leaders, top leaders in the US, act in such a way which brings disgrace to not only their party but the whole nation. And we have been supporting such kind of people. What kind of ethics and legacy are these guys going to leave behind, that other youngsters and people who want to come into politics will have to follow these footsteps? Earlier also, Bill Clinton was impeached because he was indulged in unfaithful activities with Monica Lewinsky back in the day, like in the 90s. Initially he kept on denying that he had anything to do with that, but then when he got really got red-handed, then he had no choice but to accept that he did indulge in those things, and was probably the second president who was impeached while in office, right? So, US has had its own past, and even to this date, there is a lot of skeletons when you start digging into how US politics is done. And it is very, very clear that whether the politics is in India or in the US, it has its own quirks, it has its own skeletons in the graveyard. And none of them are like honest or like follow any kind of ethics. um, Now, having said that, Trump is doing interesting things again and again. You shouldn't be surprised because Trump is very, very unpredictable. So even though Trump has not taken office, he's been like stirring a lot of debate. So most recent of his thing is that he has said that he's going to put a lot of taxes or levy on impose duties on China, Mexico, Canada. So both all these three countries have started like taking certain actions. So, for instance, China has banned export of gallium that is used to manufacture chips to the US. So they have already done that. It seems that they may also stop like procuring a lot of agriculture produce that US produces. So they are doing something in their own right to hurt the US economy, because Trump has come out with these crazy ideas of levying these different kind of taxes. So we'll have to see how this basically plays out once he's in office. Meanwhile, even Mexico is trying to do a lot of things to make sure that they don't end up like paying taxes. You all know how Justin Trudeau in Canada kind of operates. So he was recently here. While he was here, Trump jokingly kind of made a suggestion that Canada can be one of the states, 55th, 51st state of US. And nervously, Trudeau was just like smirking, like kind of smiling, but they were very nervous because they didn't have any comeback for that. Because he again said that we are going to levy taxes, and they said the whole Canadian economy will be battered if that happens, essentially. So the given the way like Trump operates, I'll not be surprised if he does such kind of unthoughtful actions, which can basically completely topple the relationship with the friendly nations such as Canada and Mexico, which are kind of dependent upon US for whatever it's worth, right? China will be the interesting pickle, because right now all the manufacturing has been outsourced to China. And for whatever it's worth, right, China still basically exports a lot of plastics, electronics, clothing to the US. Even if every country has now started picking up China plus one strategy, but even till this day today, China is the largest manufacturing exporter to the US, for whatever give or take you think about it. So this relationship of import and export with China will be have to be monitored very cautiously, because it can have both positive and negative impacts on it. And the way Trump conducts himself, anything is possible. So like I wanted to talk about both the Democratic and the Republican Party, that they have such kind of lunatic leaders at their helm. Trump from the Republic side, and Biden on the Democratic side. Both of them are taking careless decisions. One is actually exiting the office and still like continuing to do his thing and causing a lot of issues for the US. And the other one has not even taken the office, and in his pre-office days itself is like stirring the pot and creating a lot of controversy. and I'm sure like once he takes office, he'll continue to create a lot of controversy throughout the next 4 years as well. That's for sure. There will be a lot of fireworks. uh, the long story short is that politics is a very very murky business. Even though all the legal framework is such that you should be ethical, there should be no quid pro quo, there should be no ethics violations, etc. But apparently it seems like the people at the top of the leadership positions continue to indulge in all kind of misgivings. They do not care about the law of the land. Ethics is completely removed out of their mental mindset. It doesn't matter if Republican comes to the power or Democratic Party comes to the power. Each of these players act in a very very personal self-serving ways actually. So, having said that, it is very, very imperative that each country, whether it is China, whether it is Russia, India, etc., they all need to focus on their own, goodwill and to promote their own interest because every country is on their own. US particularly has shown time and again that you can't trust the leaders that come into the position and power. They are now their actions and all are cannot be trusted as well. It's like very very could be orthogonally different, could be very unethical, and when it comes to their family and friends, they will do anything and go to any length, even if it means that will tarnish their image. They'll go ahead and do that and still try to safeguard their kin and their family members or friends. So that's from my side today. I wanted to share these developments, and Vidyan is still going to be there for another 1.5 month. So prepare for anything surprising that can happen, because I think he is here meant to create lot more complications for Trump administration, and he is doing everything in his right to basically create that. And I think Trump doesn't care because he thinks that once he comes into the power, he'll basically turn over many of those decisions that Biden has taken in his last days. So we'll have to wait and watch like how these things will happen. But as I said, some of these decisions that he's making, those repercussions are being felt like almost instantaneously, immediately. So lot can happen from end of this year to the new year that we are all waiting for. So meanwhile, all of you guys, take care of yourself, spend time with your family, eat right. It's a winter season. Winter greetings to all of you. We will be looking forward towards the new year. I hope it brings joy, energy, and prosperity to you, your family, health, well-being to you. Do let me know if there are any other topics you'd like me to cover. Please review. Now we have assets of over 300 podcasts and different videos with respect to motivation, mentorship, AIML, cloud, technical, big tech, economics, politics, religion, culture, and life stories of multiple different people who we brought onto this channel, interviewed them to share their stories both in English and Hindi language. So I would request all of you, when you are going towards in the holidays, please look forward to those podcasts that we already have. Search the channel. I think it has wealth of information, and it will definitely enrich yourself over the holidays that are coming in. uh, Please spend some time. I myself do it. I basically, when I'm trying to sleep, I'll basically put together one or two podcasts that I have, and soon enough, I basically fall asleep. So it's a sleep medicine as well. Like in case if you are trying to fall asleep, just put that in your headphone, pick up any podcast that I have. I think I have soothing voice, and I hear my own voice, and also fall asleep as well. I don't even remember when I do that. So you can do that as well. It will help you basically calm down, and it's not only my podcast. You can listen into soothing songs or any other podcast as well, that helps you basically calm your nerves and get you down to the sleeping as well. So I am going to wrap up today. I hope you are enjoying your time. Do write to me, let me know if there are any topics that you would like to cover. Till then, take care. Like